Welcome to the Leaderish Podcast, leadership lessons straight up, with your hosts, Dr. Jen and Regina. Hey, Jen, how's it going?
It's great. You know, we shared a post on Instagram recently. Please follow us at Leaderish Podcast on Instagram. And we share some fun things and questions. And so we shared a fill in the blank recently, and we got some responses, and I would like to read them if you don't mind.
Yes.
So the post was, and it was just beautifully created by you.
Thank you.
A leader without integrity is like a blank without a blank. And we asked people to fill in the blank. And so we got a couple of responses. Ashley responded, a baby without a diaper, which I love, because what is that saying without saying?
Just pooping all over everything, Jen.
Yes, exactly. There's everywhere. And we also got from Amy, a camper without a compass. So I love that as well. You're doing things, but you have no direction.
Yeah.
Really. So I thought those were great. How are you?
Well, I'm good. Really good, actually. To add to the post about the leader without integrity, one of my friends, Ashley, put a Capri Sun without a straw, which I thought was absolutely perfect because it is pretty much worthless. I mean, you can still drink it if you don't have a straw, but you got like sticky stuff all over if you have kids.
I missed that one. That is awesome. That might be my favorite.
I loved it. The reason that I'm doing so well is because we've had some 5-star ratings, and I want to read 2 of the ratings to you.
We have multiple 5-star ratings. That's so exciting.
That is indeed correct. I'll just read 2 of the comments though. Great intro and looking forward to the drink of the day straight up.
They even used our branding.
I know.
We have branding, by the way.
Totally have branding.
By the way, we have branding.
I know. I feel like we're like just all grown up. And then the second one says, love the realness. I've been looking forward to this podcast launching, and it does not disappoint. If you're looking to improve as a leader, give this a listen. The human approach to leadership, including tough lessons learned, always helps me see my blind spots.
Wow. I would have paid someone to write that, but I didn't have to.
I did not either. Just in case you were wondering, I absolutely did not pay anybody for that amazing feedback. So if you are still listening to this 5th episode and you're still tuning in, thank you. You awesome reviewers out there. I know, right?
It's just so surreal to have something out in the world and people like it so far.
I know. I know. It's so cool.
Well, now it's time for me to kick off my favorite session, the drink of the day. It really makes me sound like I drink too much, but I don't. But I do love the drink of the day. Regina, what is in your cup today?
Well, Jen, much like the last episode, there is vodka because I'm kind of a vodka or wine girl. You guys will see this eventually. And this time, though, I have used grapefruit bubble water. Some of you call it sparkling water. We just call it bubble water in our house.
I love grapefruit with vodka. That is a really great combination.
It's a magical combination. What are you drinking?
Well, I like to be in the moment with my beverages. So I am actually today going to crack open again. I am going to crack open an actual rosé dry cider. This cider is from Austin East Ciders from Austin, Texas. And some ciders are really too sweet for me. But this one is rosé and it's a dry cider and it is absolutely delicious. So that is what I'm drinking.
I think that I would be willing to try that. And I'm not normally a cider fan. So maybe we should get together and I should try one of those.
I think that's a given.
So we have a guest today.
Hooray!
Sarah. I know. We're so excited. Sarah, what are you drinking?
I am not as exciting as you guys are today, but I'm drinking a Great Friday staple. It is Diet Coke. Um,
Mm,
I'm telling you, it makes me happy. It makes me happy.
That's
So
what this is all about. You do you. And I actually
yeah.
have a friend who um really likes Diet Coke. And so I completely understand that. It's a happy little fizz.
it
Hmm.
really is. It does. It makes me so happy.
Indeed. I love a good Diet Coke.
Mhm.
Excellent. Well, Sarah, welcome to our show. Will you kind of just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I would be happy to. First of all, I just want to thank you both so much for having me. I'm
Hmm.
so honored to be here. And so, a little bit about me. I am an account director at an ad agency here in Detroit, Michigan, and we work on all sorts of digital media for automotive clients. That's my day job. I love it. I've been doing it for 7 years. I'm a single mom. I've got two beautiful daughters. They are 11 and 8. And in this past year, I've become a certified life coach. I am an alignment and mindset coach, and I help clients get their energy, their actions, their thoughts, and their feelings all aligned and essentially just live their best life. I know it's a big claim. There's a lot of work that goes into it. I'm also working on a book, and I write for various media publications as well. Just personal development articles meant to inspire and educate people in their own journeys and their own paths.
And I think that's what drew me to you is I am not sure that I've ever heard anyone talk about coaching anyone on alignment. However, as I've learned in my own career and kind of my own journey, alignment is so important
Right.
in the people that you're around, in the work that you do, all of it. If it's not aligned to who you are as a person, and I know we talked about values as well,
Mhm.
then you're gonna feel it.
Yeah, I mean, and there's no escaping that, right? Like if you are not aligned in all of those areas, you do feel it. It feels ucky. It can be tiring. It can be exhausting. It can be frustrating. That's when we talk about the feeling of getting stuck, a lot of times that is because something is not aligned. Um,
Yep.
and like we had talked about, you start with those base values. What are your values? And then how do you show up in them every day, right? So it's kind of layered in how to fall back into alignment. And then there could be some blocks there as well that you've got to work through. So
Oh gosh, the blocks definitely.
incredible process. It really is. And I'm not going to say that it's super easy. For some people it can be. For me, it took a little bit of time. There were some big steps, there were some little steps, there was some stagnant time. But I will say, and it's kind of crazy to say this, that during COVID, um, I fell completely into alignment. I mean, in its entirety, and was able to accomplish just some great things for me and my girls in the past year. So it's been good.
Can you describe what should be in alignment, or maybe in your journey, what did you need to align?
So there was a lot, and it was at different. It wasn't always the same, right? I had struggled with weight a lot of my life, and that just it didn't feel good on my body, and I didn't feel that. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin, so that was out of alignment. Um, but similarly, I've got part of me that this weight has now defined who I am. So letting that go felt
Mm,
scary. And it was just such a part of me that had developed my personality and my bubbliness, right? So that was a process to learn to let that weight go. Well, once the weight was gone, then it was, I felt such a, I would say maybe a relief. And then it was like, okay, what's next? And I describe being in alignment as like when you are thinking and feeling and taking action all in the same direction. So it's like if that feeling is well, let's start with a thought. Like the thought is I want to be a life coach, and the feeling is like, oh, that's exciting. If I don't take action, then that's out of alignment. If I do take action, now I've got my thought, which was I want to be a life coach, my feeling, yeah, that's exciting, and my action, I'm going to get certified, all going in the same direction. And that's when the energy flows in that direction, all together. But when you start to think and feel and act in different ways, and they're not all working towards that common goal or towards that value that is so important to you, that's when you fall out of alignment.
I think I relate to your comment around feeling stuck. I think that's when things are out of alignment. And it could be like, so, I'm not able to show up as who I am at work, or, my values don't align with the company values, which thankfully for me, they very much do. And so I feel in alignment, but I've been in a situation before where I didn't know why, but something didn't feel right. And it actually went down to values of the organization and my own values. They don't have to match. But they can't be wildly different, or you're going to feel that, definitely. And you can feel that in relationships and all sorts of things, but I feel like it shows up at work. Kind of like you talking about weight, even, I think about leadership and something we try to teach women and other leaders around executive presence. And if you are out of alignment, you don't have that confidence to kind of show up in the way that you want to. You have to be comfortable in yourself before you can show up as a leader the way that you want to.
Otherwise, so 100% yes, Jen, everything that you said. And if you don't have that, I found myself shrinking at various times, right? Or watering myself down because I wasn't feeling great about myself. It's not necessarily bad, but I knew there was more.
What do you mean when you say shrinking or watering yourself down? Because I feel like that I want to talk about that.
Well, that is something. Shrinking and watering yourself down is like kind of adapting to maybe a smaller position. I won't say position as in like a title at work, but it's maybe not being heard, allowing yourself to be heard like you should, or it's maybe blending into the background, or it is adapting yourself to fit the needs of others. It's not kind of living in your truth or living in your voice. So and sometimes it's taking a back seat. I guess that's an easy way to describe it, is that it really is kind of changing who you are to fit either how you're feeling, or what I used to do a lot of shrinking, a lot of watering down in order to people please those, other folks in my life, friends, family, all of that. So that was where relationships, oh goodness, lots of like, I would say watering down in those situations.
That makes sense. I think a lot of women probably struggle with that. Is that your experience so far in coaching women?
Yes. I mean, it's everybody. I have not found a woman that I've coached so far that hasn't watered herself down in some respect or another. At all. And I think we all do it. And to be honest with you, I couldn't even put a term to it, before I really got into studying all of this. And I did it all the time. And now I refuse to. But once you bring it up and it's something that you're actively working on, it's almost like you can't go back to watering yourself down ever again, because that's even more uncomfortable now. But yes, I have found that every woman has watered herself down in some position or another.
It feels like there is a lot of empowerment in this journey, like getting very comfortable with yourself, what you do, what you say, the energy that you have. Um, what changes do you see in women as they gain this empowerment?
The first thing is, I can hear, you can hear it in their voice. And I can feel it in their energy.
Yeah.
They show up and they're not trying to hide. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They're excited. They're confident. There is, and you get the feeling that like, hey, lady, let's link arms and we can do anything. And that, I just got chills when I said that, but
I
like,
love that.
Me too.
and you know what I thought of? I was like, oh my God, like you guys, look at you.
Yeah.
Like, here we
It's
go.
true.
You've got your voice, and you're like, let's get out there. And once you kind of make those transformations, fall into alignment like so deeply, you want to bring other people with you.
That's so true. And the people listening can't see us, obviously, but there are 3 very large smiles happening right
It's
now
true.
because
Yeah.
it's just amazing. And I love the link arms part. I love the way that you said that. Like, oh, now I found my voice and I found my, empowerment and confidence. So I'm going to link arms with someone else and either help them get there or,
Yeah.
hey, let's go do something amazing.
Yeah. And that's what it is, right? And it's so fun.
It is. It's so fun. And being on this journey with Jen and you too, Sarah, you've helped us quite a bit through this journey. Being on this journey together with women who support women and care for women and will link arms and say, come on, let's go do this. It is so freeing. And I don't think, Sarah, before we've talked to you, that I ever thought that doing this was creating alignment. But I think that this has been my alignment. This is something, I mean, I've been obsessed with listening to podcasts for years. And then to want to do a podcast. And then Jen and I, like one random day, Jen's like, hey, I think I want to do a podcast. I was like, I've been thinking about this forever. Like, yeah.
There's your thought, right? Your thought,
Yeah.
you're taking action. It's like, boom.
Yes. And we took the action and we got the energy and now.
And worked really hard nights and weekends, by the way.
Like constantly. I know that we make it look really easy, but it's hard. Like there is a lot of work that goes into this. And I feel so aligned because my thoughts, my energy, and my actions are all being poured into women, which is what I have wanted to do for years. This resonates so much with me.
Oh my gosh, I totally have chills. And it's like that, it really is so hot. To me, there's like nothing more awesome when women feel like that and doing exactly what you're doing. And
what you're doing, by the way.
well, thank you. And you're, like you're helping other people, right? Like that's one of my values is how can I serve other people? And you're doing the same thing. And that's just, it's hot, ladies. There's no other way to put it.
I love it. I think what I was talking to somebody the other day about how, doing this has been a creative outlet that I didn't know I had a creative outlet or needed a creative outlet, but it is, and it's amazing. And it's just kind of feeding off of itself and each other and all of that. But so for you as well, we have this thing in common. We all sort of took this leap of faith and said, hey, we're just going to do this. So can you talk about your own leap of faith for a minute about like, you went from, like you said, watering yourself down, which I love that. I love the way that it describes what it is so well. What did that leap of faith look like for you? How did you decide like, I'm going to do this?
There were so many leaps of faith over the past couple of years for me. And, the first one, I also didn't think I was a creative person at all, like at all. I'm not crafty, I'm not creative, but all of a sudden I get this urge to write. And so I'm like, oh, well, I guess I have to like write a blog and, and write these personal development articles. Oh, I need a website. So I just, I took a leap of faith and I went and I did that. And then I hit publish. And I like remember feeling like I was gonna throw up.
Oh, I remember that feeling.
I know the feeling.
That feeling was last week.
I know you have when you push it out there, right? And then, then I adapted to that. And the next thing was, okay, I'm going to write a book. And I was like, well, I'm going to put it out there. So you start learning from those leap of faith. Like it's going to make me uncomfortable, but like, I know what happens afterwards. So I'm just going to do it. And so those leap of faith, they might actually get bigger, but you kind of recognize what you're going through. There was the decision to get certified as a life coach. Okay, here we go. And I just, you just do it because you can always find 1,000,001 reasons why not to.
God, it's so true. I know I've thought about doing different things. And then I've actually been talking, and I'm going to research this a little bit because I've been feeling this up for a little bit. Like there's this voice that tells me, no, you can't, or no, you shouldn't.
Limiting belief. There's a limiting belief. So every time you hear that, right, you can be like, you're wrong.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, no, let the feeling and thought come instead of like, oh, I'm just going to push it away and it's going to go back and forth. So I'm like, oh no, let the negative thought come and then just let it go.
Exactly.
Because I do have this weird feeling that keeps coming, going, oh, you can't do this. Go back to your little comfort zone of your little happy place.
Stay safe, stay small. That is, that's our conditioning, right? That's fear. That's one thing I was going to talk about was like fear is a liar, meant trying to keep us small. It's your conditioned self trying to keep you small and safe. And your authentic self, your aligned self wants to play big. So if you just let it come, you're like, I see you negativity. I see you limiting belief. I see you fear. What are you going to do? And you just let it go. Right.
That's so crazy. That's incredible.
That's kind of how I've gotten through a lot of that, just working, because fear won't ever go away. It's not like, how do you overcome fear? You do it scared. That's how you overcome fear.
I love that. You
Wow.
don't overcome fear. You just do it scared. That's so good.
It's become so ingrained. And that's why life coaching like made sense for me though. Cause I was always that friend that was like, well, here's my advice. Well, here's what I would do, and it was always kind of a part of me then. And now I actually am like legitimately know what I'm talking about. So, it's just so
clearly you do, and you've studied and you're certified and you're coaching people, and that's very apparent.
Because I have limiting beliefs around my ability to do that, right? So it's so nice even for me to hear you guys say like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's helpful. That also helps me as well. So
we're all linking arms.
We are
all linking arms. Look at us go. I love it.
I just did a dance. Like I just danced.
I did too.
I love it. Hey, Sarah, how can our listeners find you?
You can find me on my website, www.sarah-kubica.com. You can find me on Instagram and Clubhouse at sarah.kubica, or on Facebook. I've got a group there and I've got a page there, Sarah Kubica Coach. Got big plans. You can join it through my Facebook page. If you go to Sarah Kubica Coach, there is a little tab there that says groups, and you'll see my group called Elevate, which is also the club that I have on Clubhouse. It's also called Elevate. And really the goal is to just elevate everybody up to live in their best aligned life.
Well, we're excited to go on the journey with you, and we'll have to have you back again to see how it's going and what you're up to.
Well, I would absolutely love that.
Sarah, thanks for sharing all the ways that we can get with you, and our listeners can get with you. Can you tell us one thing that our listeners could do within the next 24 hours to really get alignment?
One of the things to do in order to get into alignment is to really get crystal clear on your values. For me, that is empathy. It is helping other people. It is, showing up in confidence for myself. And it is driven, being a hard worker. So I try and show up in those values every single day. And, that process overall will increase your self-confidence, because now you're thinking that you're you're thinking you're this person, and you're showing up in action. So again, it's aligning those thoughts with those actions that you're taking, and in its simplest form, it's you decide who you are and you show up as that person.
I love that. Have you ever used Brene Brown's Dare to Lead values exercise? On her Dare to Lead website has a values exercise that is great. It's one page, you print it out or you don't. And you go through and you circle like the values, and then you can want to try to get it down to like your top 3 or whatever.
Yep.
Maybe 5 if you need a stretch goal.
And it's, like no one, I never had thought to do that, right? Like I kind of knew what they were, but I never had articulated it in such a way. And once I was able to be like, this is who I am, and this is what's important to me, and this is how I show up, it was like, all right, and now put on your crown. It was just a whole new, it just caused a shift,
I agree. She's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
One of our favorite segments is the Fill Your Cup. As leaders, we really have to make sure that we're investing in ourselves and our own wellness. So Jen, how are you filling your cup this week?
Well, one silly thing that I did, which silly but not insignificant, I had an appointment today, and I just took a drive, and I got some coffee, and I listened to music, and it was sunny. And I live downtown, and we're working from home, and so I don't get in my car very much. I don't go driving, and because of that, for some reason, I don't listen to music anymore. So I just got in my car, blared the music, sang along. And it was wonderful. It happens to be Friday also, so that helps, but it was wonderful. And I loved it. Regina, what are you doing to fill your cup?
So 2 things. I have been focused on drinking more water and getting more sleep. And for some of you, you're like, why do you need to focus on that? Because I only drink tea or sparkling water. And so drinking just regular water has proven to make me feel much better. My teeth also feel better too. They're not quite as sensitive. My teeth got really sensitive from drinking too much tea and bubble water. And I am really focused on achieving my sleep goal, which is 8 hours every night. Sarah, what about you?
I actually just last night have booked a boudoir shoot. Did I say it right? How did I do? A boudoir shoot? I don't feel natural saying it, and I'm nervous. It's making me a little bit uncomfortable, but I really want to do this for myself, and I'm happy in my body, right? When I struggled with that for 35 years.
I love that. So that's awesome. Good for you.
It brings me back, Sarah, to what you said earlier. You might be afraid, but you need to do it scared.
Do it scared. Exactly.
I am taking that away. Like I that is so awesome.
Indeed.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah. This has been amazing. We'll have to have you back. I feel like we could talk forever. And thank you all for listening. We so appreciate it. Please send us mail at leaderishpodcast@gmail.com. Please find us on Instagram at leaderishpodcast, on Facebook at leaderishpodcast. And you can sign up for our newsletter, which is super exciting because we learned how to do that. And finally, cheers to alignment and doing it scared, ladies.
Yay!
Cheers.